Assalamualaikum. How are you today? I hope you're good and ready to start our lesson. So today's lesson is Form 4, Unit 5, Reading. Okay, before we start, I need you to have your textbook, Full Blast Class 4 with you, and I need you to turn to page 68 and 69. Okay? So we will read the text on page 68 together, and then we will discuss task B. You have to choose the best title for the text, and task C. Okay, so I really hope that you have your textbook with you and we can read this together. Okay, alright, let's start. When British explorer Ed Stafford announced that he wanted to be the first person to walk the 4,000-mile length of the Amazon from source to sea, most people said that he could not do it. They said there was no way any human could survive such a long and dangerous journey. This made Stafford even more determined to prove them wrong. In April 2008, Stafford set off with another trekker who returned home after 3 months. Stafford continued and was joined by a Peruvian forester, Cho, who stayed with him until the end. Stafford had estimated that it would take him a year to complete the journey. However, by the time he reached the Atlantic Ocean on the other side of the continent, he had been walking continuously for 860 days. Throughout the expedition, he had to carry 40 kilograms on his back, which required a lot of strength. A lot of this weight was batteries for his satellite video phone and laptop, which he used to write a blog of his experiences. If you refer to the map here, you can see that he started off from Peru and he walked along the Amazon River until he reached the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, next. Along the way, Stafford faced many dangers and challenges. He and Cho often had to cross swamps and rivers with only small inflatable rafts. They came across giant poisonous snakes, electric eels, jaguars, crocodiles, monkeys, and many dangerous insects. They were continuously attacked by mosquitoes, and Stafford was stung twice by scorpions during the journey. A fly buried itself into his head, and he also suffered a tropical skin disease. Sometimes they were forced to survive by eating whatever they could hunt or find. Their diet sometimes consisted of plants, piranha fish, wildcats, and even tortoises. Some of the dangers they faced were from humans. The maps they used were often unreliable, and on several occasions they arrived at areas to get supplies and found that logging companies had completely cleared them away. There were problems with the native people too. Several isolated communities living in the jungle saw Stafford and Cho as a threat and chased them with knives and guns. On one occasion, they avoided an attack by agreeing to pay the community chief to be their guide. And the last paragraph. Many people found it difficult to understand why Stafford wanted to put his life in danger. He explained that no one had achieved anything like it before. That was a good enough reason for doing it. Moreover, he hoped his expedition would make people more aware of the destruction of the rainforest. Sometimes, wanting to be a record breaker and the need for adventure can push people to incredible achievements. If that can also help a good cause, it makes it even more remarkable. Okay, that's the end of it. And you can also visit these two websites, walkingtheamazon.com and edstafford.org, to read more about his adventure. Okay, now let's choose which one is the best title for the text. Okay, you have three choices. Let's look at A. Is it Exploring the Amazon? Ed Stafford's amazing journey across the Amazon River? Or B. Amazon Adventure. One man tries to save the rainforest. Or is it C. Walking the Amazon, the incredible story of Ed Stafford? So which one do you think is the best title for the text? Okay, all of these are correct, but you have to choose the best one. Okay, for me, the best title for the text is C. Walking the Amazon, the incredible story of Ed Stafford. Okay, I chose C because the other two titles do not clearly state that Ed Stafford walked along the river. So C is the best title for the text. Okay, let's move on to task C on page 69, where you have to read each question carefully to get an idea of what you are looking for and underline the section in the text where the answer is found. Okay, but let's read the tips first. Okay, tip number 1. Oh, that was also a tip before. This is tip number 2. When a question refers to a whole text, you have to avoid options which are true but refer only to part of the text. Okay? And next, make sure that you have chosen the correct answer by eliminating the wrong options. Okay, if you have trouble finding the correct answer, maybe what you should do is you cross out the wrong answers first. Okay? Then the only answer that is left is, well, maybe the correct one. Okay, and last tip, you have to avoid options which sound logical but are not mentioned in the text. Okay, now all the answers should be included in the text, right? And then you have to avoid options which include a word or phrase from the text but do not mean the same thing. Okay, these options are meant to trick you. Okay, and lastly, you have to avoid options which overgeneralize using words like always, all, every, and others. Okay, now maybe you should pause the video now and you try to answer number 1 until 5 on your own first, and then when you have finished you can come back so you can check the answers with me. Okay, alright. Okay, let's discuss. Number 1. When Stafford said that he was going to walk the Amazon, people thought that A. He was strong enough to achieve it. B. He would die if he tried to do it. C. He was brave enough to try. And D. If he was determined, he would succeed. Okay, where do you refer to get the answer for number 1? Okay, you go to paragraph 1. And okay, what did most people say? Most people said that he could not do it. So which one you should eliminate? Okay, A, D, and I think C as well. So you are only left with the answer B. Yeah, so the answer for number 1 is B. He would die if he tried to do it. Okay, you refer to paragraph 1, line 2. Right? Now let's move on to number 2. What is not true about Stafford's journey? Okay, not true. So you have to find the answers that are true and you eliminate them. Okay, let's take a look at A. It took him longer than he expected. Is this true? Okay, let's take a look at paragraph 2. Okay, line number 2. he had estimated that it would take him a year. Okay, but then at the end of his journey, actually he had been walking for 860 days. So A is true. So this is not the answer. B, a Peruvian was with him for most of his journey. Okay, he was joined by a Peruvian forester Cho who stayed with him until the end. I guess so. Okay, so B is correct. The batteries he had to carry weighed 40 kilograms. Okay, let's take a look at paragraph 2 again. A lot of this weight was batteries for his satellite, video, phone and laptop. Okay, so it's not just battery. So maybe the answer is C. Okay, but you still have to consider D. Okay, the person he started off with did complete the challenge. Okay, paragraph 2, line number 1. Yes, he set off with another tracker who returned home after 3 months. This is correct as well. So what is not true about Stafford's journey? C, the batteries that he had to carry weigh 40 kilograms. Okay, next on to number 3. What was the cause of Stafford's skin disease? Is it A, a scorpion? Is it B, a fly? Is it C, his diet? Or is it D, it is not clearly mentioned? Okay, so the mention about a skin disease is on paragraph 3. But I don't think the cause is clearly mentioned. Okay, so you have to look at paragraph 3, line 4. The answer is D. It is not clearly mentioned. Okay, next, number 4. How did a community chief help Stafford and Cho? A, he showed them where to go. B, he agreed to stop the attacks if they left. C, he explained to isolated communities that they weren't a threat. D, he paid the native people so that they wouldn't harm them. Okay, the answer is from paragraph 4. It's line 4 and 5. Okay, on one occasion, they avoided an attack by agreeing to pay the community chief to be their guide. Okay, so all of the options, they don't have the word guide. Okay, but a guide is actually a person who shows people where they should go. So the answer is A. Alright, it is not B, he agreed to stop the attacks. No, he was paid. Okay, he explained to isolated communities. No, the chief did not explain anything. D, he paid the native people. No. Stafford and Cho paid him to be their guide. So paragraph 4, line 4 and 5. Now the last question. What was the main reason that made Stafford go on this expedition? Is it A, he wanted to be the first person to walk the Amazon? Is it B, he wanted to save the rainforest from destruction? Is it C, people believed he couldn't do it? Or is it D, he needed to prove something to himself? Okay, you have to look and read at the question. It is the main reason, okay? The question wants the main reason. So I can see that it's on paragraph 5, line 1 and 2. Okay, he explained that no one had achieved anything like it before. So that's why he wanted to be the first to walk the Amazon. Okay? Alright. Wanting to save the rainforest? No. He hoped his expedition would make people more aware of the destruction of the rainforest. Right? So if you notice, A, he wanted to be the first to walk the Amazon. This is not even mentioned in paragraph 5, okay, but it means the same. No one had achieved anything like it before. So if he succeeded, then he would be the first to walk the Amazon. Alright, I think that's the end of it. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to do task D on Google Forms. Okay, the link is in the description below. And yeah, thank you. Bye. Assalamualaikum.